Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys this lovely process of the application. So once again, my name is Michelle Cabanas. I'm a first-year admission counselor at Elmhurst University. So like I said, this is first generation series, how to get started with your senior and the application. So like I said, I am very glad that you could join me, guys. It's okay if you're not first generation, but if you are, awesome. So I'm just going to be walking you through the application process. I will not have like the actual application, but I'm going to tell you everything that's on the application and how to answer the questions accordingly. So I'm going to give you like a minute. Once again, make sure to grab a pen and paper. I'll also be uploading this to our Elmhurst University YouTube. So if you guys don't want to write anything down, that's totally okay. But I highly recommend that you write down like important dates or facts. Okay, and then also if you guys could please save your questions until the end of the presentation. It shouldn't take that long. I would highly appreciate it so I could answer your questions accordingly and I don't go all over the place. All right, so 1 second. Okay. So hopefully you guys are ready. If not, I will slow down for you guys, but I will start now. So as mentioned, this is a presentation that's directed towards first generation students or students who are not familiar with filling out applications for college. And I'm gonna put a quick disclaimer. So we're not on Common App. I know I've gotten a lot of questions about that, but we will hopefully start that later in October. So good news, we will start the Common application later on this year. So just in case, so you save time, you won't have to worry about going into like our direct application. Just in case like you apply to other colleges, you can start going on the Common App hopefully later this semester. But for now, we are only using our application. And I just wanted to quickly define first generation student for those who do not know what a first generation student is. So being a first generation student like I means that your parents did not complete a 4-year college, university, or obtain a bachelor's degree. So if you are one of those students, and if you're not, that's still okay. Almost 40% of our incoming first year students identify as first generation. So you are not alone. And because you're first generation, or if you are, we do offer a little scholarship, which I will talk about in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some quick steps. So getting started with the application. So for one, our application is completely free, so you do not have to, you can put your checkbooks away. You do not have to pay for anything in terms of the application. So that's awesome news. So meaning even if you decide to not come to Elmhurst or apply to Elmhurst anymore, you're totally fine. You can just put aside the application, but it is completely free. And it does take about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a very short application, I'd say. But I would recommend to mark a day in your calendar to sit down with your parents and go over the application, go over any questions that your parents will know the answer to in case you don't know the answers. So that's another one. And then step 3, get excited because your life is about to change. Even if you decide not to come to Elmhurst, just know that college is an amazing experience. So I highly encourage that you find the right place for you that is fitting for you. So never feel pressured to do anything. Just make sure that you find a place that is good for you, that you feel good in. So just remember that, keep that in mind for future reference. And I totally forgot to make the screen bigger. I apologize, guys. So now actually getting started with the application. So we're going to go to elmhurst.edu/apply if you decide to apply to Elmhurst. And I have a little screenshot here. So when you go to the website, you're going to go to apply in the corner. So as you can see that I circled here, you're going to go to apply. And after this lovely page will show up. So I'd had a few questions and I didn't realize how common this question was, but you will select the undergraduate tab. So when you do decide to apply to Elmhurst, you will go into the undergraduate tab because you will be an undergraduate student. I know there was some confusion, which I totally understand. Some students think they're graduate students, but no, make sure you select undergraduate student, just so you know that you're applying as a freshman. So this is how it will look like once you select the undergraduate student. It will ask you for like your general information, like name, address, email. It asks you for that because this is going to be your portal. Even if you decide to come to Elmhurst, it's going to be your portal while you are a prospective student. So it will give you a temporary password, and then based off of the email that you put in which I highly recommend that you put your own email, students, that you put your own personal email, just because once you graduate high school, it is going to be different or harder for you to obtain messages from us. This is going to be for any school. I highly encourage, it's okay if you do not have a personal email, that's totally okay, but I highly encourage you making one later on, just because it will be beneficial for you. So you're just going to answer the general information, and then it's going to make you create a password after. They give you the temporary password, and it's going to be your login portal. So after let's say you take a break and don't finish the application, you can log in, come back to the same area, and then it'll have you log in instead, and you'll just put in your email and password to continue the application. So you do not have to finish it all in one sitting. Okay, so during the application. So after you created the login and you're in your portal, you will then begin the application. So the main thing that it's going to ask you is basically your biographic information. So it's just going to ask you like where you live, your mailing address, your email address again, your name, and just like the general information. And then another big one that it's going to ask you is your program of interest. So I've put in there, it's okay if you're undecided. You do not have to pick a major right away. Like basically we ask for that because we want to know like what information to send you. For example, if you're interested in nursing, you're interested in psychology, we want to like send you information directly about that certain major or academic interest. But if you are undecided, that's totally okay. I myself was undecided when I started the college process. So just to let you know, you do not have to know what you want to do right away. But it will ask you in case like you want specific information. And then of course you're going to select freshman. So make sure I'm assuming everyone here should be a freshman for the students. So you're going to select freshman as the student type or what you're coming in as. And then don't forget to submit your official or unofficial high school transcripts. So since you are still in high school currently, it's not obviously, you don't have to submit your official transcripts. It's going to be after you graduate. We're going to ask for them just so we have your official ones on file. But right now you can literally submit a screenshot of your GPA, grades that you have in your portal, high school portal, or any unofficial transcripts that your high school offers or your counselor can give you. And then good news, if you guys did not know this already, so it's going to ask you if you want to do test optional, meaning if you don't want to submit your ACT, SAT scores, you can now write an essay. I myself wasn't a good test taker. I always get that anxiety of test taking, and I'm sure some of you guys have anxiety too when it comes to test taking. So if you didn't do so well in your test, like I say, scores don't define you, tests don't define you. There is the application essay as an option. So if you consider yourself a good writer or love writing, you want to explain more to your counselor as to like, you want to tell us your story a little bit more, want to tell us like why, I don't know, like what you were involved in, whatever you'd like, you will have a prompt in the application. So make sure to select test optional if you do want to write an essay, but if not, you can definitely submit your ACT, SAT scores. So then the next, it's going to ask you if you're planning on filing the FAFSA in the application. So FAFSA, I actually have a webinar coming up in 2 weeks. If you guys are interested, I will be sending out another mailing if you guys would like. So I highly encourage for you guys to come to this one because I'm not going to lie, the FAFSA application is very confusing. And if for some reason you certainly cannot file a FAFSA, something doesn't allow you to, there will be a form that you have to fill out letting us know why you can't file the FAFSA. But it is required, and anyways, it's a good thing for you guys because that's where you receive like where you'll fill in your household income and your parents, with your parents' household income all mixed together, and that's how like you receive your financial aid in terms of like grants, loans, etc. We will get more in depth later on in my next webinar with the FAFSA. And I actually will have more of a professional here with me as well when it comes to filing the FAFSA. So if you guys would love to join, highly encourage it. But then after that certain question, it's also going to ask you about the college level coursework that you've taken. So if you're taking some AP courses, you know, dual credit courses, definitely click yes and make sure you let us know which ones, just because we want to award you credit eventually. And we don't want to like make you retake a class that you've already taken. Or if you've also taken an AP language course, it also fulfills your language as well. We'll be fulfilling that. So you guys don't have to take a language at Elmhurst or wherever you end up going. Okay, so step 7, continue. So I just have basic, like the most important information in the slides, but that you will need to pay attention to. So we don't discriminate against religions or any sort of ethnicity, any religion, but we are, just because Elmhurst University was founded with the United Church of Christ and it is affiliated with it. If you are involved, I would highly encourage for you to say that you are a part of the United Church of Christ, because we do offer a small scholarship just because it was founded and affiliated with the United Church of Christ when it first was founded in 1871. And then also, this is where the first generation area comes in. So it's going to ask you about your family information. So it's going to ask you about your parent information first. And the most important question you have to make sure to answer is the highest level of education. So if your parents completed a bachelor's degree, that's awesome. But if not, please make sure you answer that. Make sure, so if they completed high school, please make sure you say that, because according to what you answer in terms of the parent information, that's where we determine if you are first generation or not. And spoiler alert, we do offer a scholarship up to $2,000 in terms of if you are a first generation or not. So please make sure you fill that out. But if not, we also have sibling information. So if, for example, your sister, brother came to Elmhurst, you are considered a legacy, and you're also offered a scholarship amount as well, just because one of your siblings did come to Elmhurst University. So not to confuse you, but once again, if your parents obtained a bachelor's degree, you're not first generation. Even if your sibling did obtain a bachelor's degree and your parents didn't, you're still a first generation, just because it was your sibling and not your parents. And then we have a lot of questions. So if it's your cousin, uncle, that came like the Elmhurst, for example, you are not considered a legacy because it was not a close connection. It was your uncle, cousin who came. So you're not considered a legacy unless it's your brother or sister. And then, so yeah, I know there's a lot of confusion with that. So if you have any questions after, please let me know. And then also it's going to ask you about COVID impact. So we all understand that COVID it's been a hard 2 years. COVID has been a huge part of our lives now. It has impacted us greatly. So please make sure you answer that question, because once again, we do offer scholarships based off of that. So if it affected you in some sort of way, mentally, academically, financially, please make sure you answer that, because we do offer scholarships based off of that as well. So please make sure you answer everything as accurate as possible. Okay, so basically overall for the application, those are like the main that I touched based on. Those are going to be the main ones in terms of what you need to answer accurately, because based off of that, you're going to be awarded scholarships, and it's just a lot easier, in terms of like obtaining financial aid and so forth. So don't be afraid if you get to a part in the application that you don't understand, or maybe you're confused about it and not know how to answer it. So make sure you give us a call. I will also include my information later on. Make sure you give us a call. Your counselors will be reaching out, or have already probably reached out to you guys. So make sure you guys feel free to call us, email us, whatever you'd like. We're here for you, and we're here to walk you through the process. We want you guys to find a good fit and succeed. Okay, so once again, Please be as transparent and honest as possible. Like I said, being honest and being transparent makes you go a long way. And then once again, if you are not a good test taker, let's say maybe your grades weren't the best, which is totally understandable, please to further explain maybe what happened throughout like your academic life in high school. For example, that your grades went down during COVID, which is totally understandable. Please make sure you use that voice to understand, so we could understand. So it's totally up to you. I personally love reading about you guys, so feel free to do whatever you're comfortable with. And then once again, before you click submit, review all your information in the application after you confirm. If it looks good, make sure you submit the button, and then make sure that you also sign your application. And then you are one step closer to becoming a Blue Jay. So it is very general information, but those are like the main topics and questions that you will need. I know there can be confusion with that, so I really hope that those main topics have helped you guys understand the application more. I say it's a pretty easy application compared to other applications, so I would highly encourage for you guys to definitely try it out. And you don't have to, you can start your application now, and you don't have to submit like your essay scores or grades right away. You can do that later on. So you don't have to do that as soon as you finish the application. So like once again, be sure to submit your transcripts and essay or scores later on after you submit your application. So no rush there. You can go back to your portal and you can submit those accordingly. So don't feel like you need to submit everything right away. And then once again, we cannot wait to review your application and the materials. So if you guys have any like questions in terms of like, I would say like what scores you guys need, what specific GPA you need, please feel free to ask that right after, and I'd be glad to answer those. So once again, after you submitted everything, you just, sit back and relax. We're not really picky in terms of like the GPA, I'd say, and we're very lenient in my opinion, and we work with you guys. So if you guys really want to come to Elmhurst and you think your GPA isn't its best, I still highly encourage for you to apply. And then I highly encourage for you to set up a one-on-one meeting with your admission counselor or anybody that you see in admissions that you want to talk to personally. Please feel free to do that. And whenever you guys have time, I know you guys have school, make sure to set up a visit with us and see our beautiful campus. So once you've been admitted, you will have a more like personal connection with your admission counselor, and you will get a to-do list from them, and we will literally walk you through everything. So you will not be alone. So once you get admitted and everything, we will have a little to-do list for you guys and make sure that we're always there for you guys. So like I said, we're right there through every step of the process. We're very excited to guide you no matter what. And then I just wanted to let you guys know we're not, if you guys decide to come to Elmhurst, I like to say no harm, no foul. So please feel free to still apply, even if you decide that Elmhurst isn't right for you later on. We do not, there are certain schools that charge, we do not charge. As long as, of course, you guys don't submit a deposit or anything or commit, we will not we're not going to charge you in any way. We totally understand. So never feel like you have to come to Elmhurst. And then bonus information. So we are early action. So if you do complete your application on or before November 1st, which I highly encourage that you do it before, like I said, you will be considered for early action and you will receive an admission decision letter in early December. So you can relax during your winter break and know that you got admitted to one school, which is Elmhurst University. And if you do complete your FAFSA before November 1st, FAFSA does open up October 1st. But like I said, I'll be having my next webinar about FAFSA in 2 weeks. So I highly encourage for you to sign up for that one, where we can explain the application more. And then you guys can apply or file for FAFSA a few days after it opens up. And then, so when you get your admission decision, you will also get your financial aid award letter. So that's why we highly encourage for you to complete your FAFSA when it opens up on October 1st, because you will get all your whole financial aid package along with your scholarships, and you will know about how much you'll be owing to Elmhurst. And if you are not satisfied with the amount of money that you got, or Elmhurst still seems a little expensive, we're always here to walk you through everything, and we're here to offer you as many scholarships as we can. Which I'm not gonna lie, Elmhurst can be a little pricey because it is a private institution, but we're always here to offer you any sort of scholarship that you need. As long as you're dedicated and really want to come to Elmhurst, we're always glad to help you and make it affordable for you. And then, like I said, stay tuned for the upcoming first generation webinar, and I will cover FAFSA and what it means along with one of my colleagues. She's a very big expert in the FAFSA world in financial aid. And also, bonus information, if you do apply now before November 1st, you do get $500 extra per year, which may not seem like a lot, but a little goes a long way in terms of like books or any like additional charges that you may have. So I think the $500 award is awesome. So I highly encourage it. And even if you decide not to come, you won't have to like pay it back or anything. You just obviously won't receive it. So I highly encourage for you to at least apply before November 1st. And then once again, my upcoming webinar will be on the 29th. So it will be a few days before October 1st when FAFSA opens up. So I highly encourage it. And I'll be with Erica Arteaga, and she is a professional when it comes to financial aid and FAFSA. So highly encourage for you to attend. And then we do have an open house. So if you would like to meet us personally, your admission counselors, or are interested in knowing more about Elmhurst and meet the faculty, I would highly encourage for you to come to our open house, which is on October 2nd, 2021 at 9 a.m. Or we will have a virtual one, which is on October 30th at 9 a.m. So I highly encourage for you guys to do that. And once again, I recorded this presentation. So if you guys missed something, it'll be up on our YouTube channel. And also, I am here to answer any questions in terms of like general requirements that you guys may have. I just don't want to take up all your time. I understand there's a lot of extracurricular activities that you guys have going on, or parents, you guys have something going on. And then here's my contact information. So if you guys want to write that down, have any questions afterwards, or have to go, you can write this down and definitely shoot me a call, shoot me an email, whatever you'd like. Or if you want to visit us, definitely feel free to contact us. I am always here to help. Once again, I'm very excited to help you guys no matter what. Since I just graduated, I'm very excited to get to know everybody. So that's all I had for you. But if you have any like information, any specific information that you'd like to know, please feel free to ask those questions now. You can type them in the chat. It's totally up to you. And then, yes, I'll have this uploaded in a couple minutes afterwards. Okay. Yeah, of course, Julie. I hope this helped in some way. I hope it helped you out a little more understanding the application. It's pretty self-explanatory, I'd say. It's just those basic like headlines that I wanted to talk about that you would like to answer as honestly as possible, so we can offer as many scholarships as possible as well. And like I said, I'm a first generation student, so please feel free to ask me whatever you'd like, or shoot me an email right after this. You don't have to ask right now if you don't want to. Of course, how do we send transcripts? So if you could have your transcripts ready in the application, it will, when you fill in the information about like your institution, so let's say you went to Wesleyan High School or something, so you will have to say what high school you are going to, and then there it gives you an option to upload your transcripts. Or if not, like I said, you can go back. Let's say you have to get your transcripts from your counselor or something. You can go back to that same portal. So you're going to go back to the website. You're going to go back to, there in the corner, it'll say like log in or apply. And if it says already applied, you will go into that portal. And right there is another heading. Instead of going back to the actual application, it'll just say upload materials. So that's all you have to do. In terms of that, is just go back to your portal and upload those materials that you have. And if not, if you, let's say, you can even email them to me, you can email them to your admission counselor, so that hopefully already has reached out to you. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you. So yes, early action responses come in December. So I highly encourage for you guys to apply before November 1st, so you get that early action decision. if your parents went to Elmhurst, are you considered a legacy, or is that? Oh, of course, sorry. If your parents went to Elmhurst, you're still considered a legacy. I should have specified that. I forget that, but yeah, you're still considered a legacy. So, and you get up to $2,000 as well per year if you are a legacy. So it's awesome if your parents did go to Elmhurst. Eric, of course. So yes, in terms of the international students and admissions, why don't you shoot me an email and I will send you my colleague's information. He is specialized in international students. He's amazing. His name is Tony. So if you want to know more about the international process, we can talk to you directly and more personally aside if you would like. If you want to set up a time with us or just a quick like little text or phone call that you would like. So the accepted SAT score. So the minimum that we ask for, Julie, is a 950 for a SAT. And if you took the ACT, our minimum will be 17 for the ACT. Sorry guys, I just got a message. So if you took the ACT, it'll be a 17. And then like I said, SAT will be a 950. And for the GPA from a high school, our required one that we take is a minimum of a 2.5. So if you have anything lower, it doesn't mean you won't get admitted. We will just have to work with you a little more and see like what was going on with your grades and everything. So 2.5, and yes, we take weighted if you guys are wondering. Weighted, so 2.5 out of 4.0 scale. It does not require if you have a letter of recommendation. So you don't have to have one. So even if you apply test optional, you don't need a letter. So if you want to submit one, feel free. But yeah, you are not required to submit one. And if you do want to submit like your test, your essay, and then your letter of recommendation, like I said, go to your portal once you apply. You will use that same email and password, and then there will be a little heading that says upload materials, and you will upload everything there. And if you can't find it, definitely feel free to email them to me. Yes, open houses for parents too. So I highly encourage. It's coming for, yes. So you can definitely come. Parents and students are welcome to the open house. And then, so 8:30 is a check-in. I apologize. 8:30 is a check-in, but 9 is where it officially begins. So even if you arrive at 9, that's totally okay, or afterwards. But yeah, 8:30, we start checking everyone in. So the essay topics are listed in the application. I'm sorry?
No, I said thank you. I just wanted to clarify that.
Oh, no, of course.
Thank you for that answer. Okay.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Of course. And then the essay topics listed in the application. So those, it's mainly asking about your experience at your school and what you will be bringing to Elmhurst or college in general. But if you do select test optional, the essay topic will be there, will be given to you in that application. Do we have to? So if you apply for early action, we do at least require for you to submit your unofficial transcripts. You can go into your portal, high school portal, and just at least give us a screenshot so we see your GPA, but at least your unofficial transcripts. So they don't have to be anything like fancy, as long as we see like your GPA and your grades. That's all we need from you. So yeah, because the official ones are after you graduate, so we don't need like those fancy ones, fancy like transcripts or anything. So as long as you even submit like a screenshot of your transcripts, like in your portal and your grades and GPA, that's all we need. Oh, of course, of course. If you guys have any questions, please keep on messaging me. And if not, like I said, my information is here for you. My information is right here for you. You can just go back to that email if you want that I've sent you, and you can email me back if you would like, if you don't have questions right now. But I will be here if you guys have any questions. And if not, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really hope I helped in some sort of way. Like I said, since the essay, since the application is free, I highly encourage for you to apply even if you decide that Elmhurst isn't for you, because at least you'll have your admission decision by December. And then, so I personally would recommend an essay, and I know a lot of counselors would recommend an essay because we want to hear more from the student. Because we say that ACT, SAT scores do not define the student, unless like your ACT, SAT scores are amazing, and I'm sure everyone's is, but if you want us to hear more about yourself and get to know you as a student, I highly encourage for you to do the essay because we love reading about you guys. And if you love to write, that's even a plus, a better thing for you guys. Of course. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And yes, you can submit both. It's totally up to you. But yeah, you can submit both if you would like your test scores and your essay. Of course. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope to see you guys next on the FAFSA webinar, just because we're going to get really detailed in terms of like the financial aid and grants that that Elmhurst offers. Of course, thank you so much for coming and thank you so much for your questions. Spring. Yes, we do. So you can also, if you want to come in the spring, you can definitely do that as well. We are starting to review applications for the spring. So if you would like to do that, you can come in the spring or the fall, totally up to you. Yes, it is. You just have to select. It is the same application, except when you are in the application or when you when you click apply, make sure you specify you want to come in spring 2022, but it's the same application. Of course. Thank you guys so much for coming.